Well, hello. We've been waiting for you. Please sign in. We've got a busy day ahead. If you're new to this school, please use the keyboard to enter your name. Please enter and have a seat. Sit up straight, no slouching in this classroom. Is that gum in your mouth? Sorry, my mistake.
Professor Sparks had meant for me to fly, he'd have given me wings. But what could I do? This mission is too important. He startled me. I didn't think anyone would be here. Hey, you've got that, transquisor. Now be careful with that thing. Don't drop it. The future of the world may depend on that little machine in your hands. That is, if I'm not too late. There's just so little time and so much to do. Listen, I need your help, and if you think you can handle it, you can help me save the world. I am Android XL2, but you can call me Botley. That's what Professor Spark calls me. His daughter Polly calls me... Well, never mind what Polly calls me. I'm not getting to the point, am I? Here, let me start from the beginning. This morning, morning, Polly's father, he left for another one of his famous inventors' conventions, and he programmed me to keep an eye on Polly. I'm supposed to keep her out of trouble. With Polly, that's always tough. But today, it was impossible. After coming home from school and madder than I've ever seen her, Polly locked herself in her father's secret chamber. Now, I really shouldn't tell you this because I've been programmed for secrecy, but this being a world emergency and all, well, the professor has an honest-to-goodness time machine up there, and it really works. Not only that, but Polly sent 25 of the other androids back in time. The whole world is changing, and the changes have Polly written all over them. Cars don't exist anymore, and now everyone has to travel by pogo stick. An orangutan has just been elected president of the United States in a landslide. And the Statue of Liberty is now the Statue of Licorice. It's all happening so quickly. But with your help, I think we can rescue all the androids and maybe stop the world from getting too weird. Just hand me the transquizzer. I think it's got all the information we need to get started. Cool. Now hang on tight and come with me. Well, this is it. Home sweet home. Polly should be inside.
That was funny, watching that poor dumb robot flying back in time. I couldn't ask for a better way to spend the afternoon. In another day, the world will see the dawning of Polly's planet. Whoops! It seems there's someone at the door. Let's take a little peek. Oh, it's only Botley. He knows I don't like to be disturbed when I'm working. It breaks my concentration. Okay, let's see what he wants. This might be fun. Oh, Snotley, you're back. I've been looking for you.
My name is Botley.
I can see you've brought help. And you've got the transquizzer.
She knows we need it to save the world.
Didn't my father teach you it's rude to tell secrets, Rotley? Well, I suppose he's told you his side of everything. But what does he know? Today, when I was at school, the teacher handed us a surprise quiz. I already knew all the answers, and she knew I knew them. So, just to have some fun, I made up my own answers to that dumb old quiz. But instead of laughing like she was supposed to, she gave me a big fat 0. I felt faint and short of breath. No one's ever given me a 0 before.
Well, that's not quite true, Polly. I remember just 2 weeks ago.
Be quiet, Plotley. This is my story. Anyway, after getting my first 0 ever, I got the most brilliant idea. Instead of settling for a bad grade, I changed history to match my answers.
So you sent 25 of your father's robots back in time to change history? How could you do that, Polly?
Please, Spotley, if you're so scared, why don't you just bring him back yourself? You've got my transquizzer. Now all you need are the questions on my history quiz. To make it so easy even you can figure it out, I'll leave the disc with the first part of the test on the first floor. That's 5 questions total. Just plug that disc into the transquizzer. Then figuring out where I sent the robots should be simple. Oh, by the way, you have to get in the house first. And I've changed the locks. Good luck!
Oh, that's just great. How are we going to get into the mountain? You see, the professor's lock system only opens when you reproduce the chimes you hear. Ring the doorbell to start the chimes. That will start the unlocking mechanism. Just listen closely and repeat what you've heard by clicking on the correct door panels. Way to go! All right! All right! Good job! You opened the lock! Only one more lock to go. That's it! You opened the door! Now, be quiet and follow me. First, though, let me put this in a safe place. It's the utility belt that Professor Spark designed for me, and it's quite an achievement. Over there's a button that will take you out of any room in the mountain. The indicator next to it tells you how much energy is left to power the mountain. Now, if you ever need assistance, push on this button, and I'll do what I can to help. In the middle of the belt is the inventory. That's where we can store things we find in the mountain. The transquizzer, for instance. Professor Spark has set up a lot of games inside the mountain for Polly, me, and the other robots. If you click on this button, you can make some of them harder or easier to play. Finally, this score keeps track of how many invention points we earn. By opening the door, you've already earned a few points. Now, our destiny. This is the professor's home and laboratory. It's an entirely self-sufficient environment. We don't have to leave the mountain for anything. The professor even included recreational and cultural activities so he and Polly wouldn't get bored. Maybe later we'll have time to explore, but now we have to stop Polly from making the world too weird. To do that, we need to find that quiz disc. Hey, there it is! Pull out the transquizzer by clicking on the inventory button on the utility belt. All right, it looks like the disc should be inserted in the slot near the top of the transquizzer.
Good morning, Polly. I hope you've studied for the quiz today. You may have a lot of natural ability, but even geniuses need to study.
That's Polly's teacher, Ms. Winkle. At that school on the hill, everything's state-of-the-art. All the quizzes are personalized, programmed, and videotaped by the teacher. Pretty cool, huh?
Now, today's quiz is all about inventions and discoveries, something you should know plenty about, Polly. Oh, but no fair asking your father for help. There are 25 questions total, Polly. 5 on each of the 5 discs I've passed out to you and the rest of the class. That's 5 different levels. So, sit up straight, put on your thinking cap, and select your first question.
Okay. What we should do first is select one of the quiz questions. Just click on any one of the 5 buttons near the bottom of the transquizzer. Since we've got to bring all the robots back, the order doesn't really matter. The yellow start button will play this question.
People once thought the Earth was the center of the universe and everything revolved around it. That's because when they looked up in the sky, the sun and the stars all appeared to be moving around the Earth. A nice idea, but appearances can be deceiving.
Today we know that the Earth revolves around what?
Miss Winkle, as everybody knows, I am the center of the universe.
Yes, Polly, you're exactly right. The whole world revolves around you. Heavens, Polly is just too much to bear. She used to think she was the center of the universe. Now she really is. We need to go back in time and straighten this mess out, or life as we know it will change drastically. Click on the inventory button to put away the transquizzer.
Well, it just so happens, Sotley, that I realized long ago that you would try to mess up my work, so I covered my tracks by hiding clues all over the mountain. 4 clues total.
Well, Polly, okay. It looks like we have no choice but to play by your rules, as unfair as they are. Just tell us what we need to find for this mission.
Relax, Scutley. It won't be so bad. I sent Russian robot Cosmobot to put me in the center of the universe. You can get him back if you find these 4 clues. A pig, a sundial, a postage stamp, and a dollar bill. But why mess up a good thing?
Cosmobot and I never used to get along, but now we're pals. I can't believe Polly reprogrammed him for her selfish purposes. We have to find those clues and get Cosmobot back. Stand back now while I sense the place out. Hey, we're in luck. I'm sensing a mission clue in the painting gallery. Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hit a mission clue in the painting gallery. This is Professor Sparks' art gallery. It's sort of an art museum and an art studio combined. That odd-looking machine over there is his virtual collection, where the professor keeps a display of some of the most famous works of art in the world. You can also go into the painting gallery in the back to create your own masterpiece. Don't forget to bring your imagination.
If you're going to visit the gallery, you let me know if you find any of Polly's things hidden in there. If I've told her once, I've told her 1,000 times, don't mess up the collection. Of course, she doesn't listen to me. Why, once I found a Romanesque urn next to a Baroque.
That's Mrs. Beasley. She's the resident art expert. Some say she's as old as some of the Greco-Roman statues in here.
I heard that, you hotshot silicon chipsters. So smart and so fast, and so what? I've got more sense in my vacuum tubes than a lot of you.
Well, if we have any questions about the art, we'll be sure to ask you. I think Polly has hidden one of the clues in the painting gallery. Click on the gallery way behind me to look into this. This room looks like an ordinary painting gallery, but Polly's father created it so anyone can make their own art.
Heidi-ho, Snotley. I hid one of the mission clues here, and if you want it, either you or your friend will have to paint me a pretty picture. Of course, I get to tell you exactly what to paint. And it better be good. I've always wanted a painting that showed something like this. A skull in the desert. I was walking through the desert and I saw a big cactus with 3 cow skulls on it. I wonder how they got there.
Click on any of the empty frames to begin painting. Click on the sheet of paper on the floor to read Polly's story. So the deal here is that Polly wants us to illustrate her strange story. I don't have much of an artistic flair. It's just not in my programming. So it looks like it's up to you. Luckily, Professor Spark made it so anyone can paint like one of the great masters. To your left are all the tools you'll need, and at the bottom are lots of cool colors. If you need to be reminded of what Polly's demanding, click on the card on the lower left corner of the frame.
Hold up.
Polly! Don't ask me what it means. Beautiful job. Just pick up the clue and add it to the inventory. Good work. It seems you got the painting right. Grab the clue and put it in the inventory. Then let's move on. No mission clues here. Let's try another floor. You'll see that as we go up higher in the mountain, the professor's inventions get more secret and bizarre. Sensors on! I'm gonna run a sweep of this floor. I'm picking up a clue reading in the shrinking machine room. This is Professor Sparks' masterpiece. Well, one of them anyway. He calls it the... something or other. We call it the Shrink-O-Matic. It can reduce anything or anyone to the size of a medium-large molecule with the help of my good friend Egbert.
Oh, yes. So if you want to know about any of my wonderful specimens, just pick up this analyzer and click on it. But please, don't hurt the specimens.
Well, that'll come in handy when you go searching for the mission clue, because I miniaturized it and hid it inside one of those specimens.
Which specimen, Polly? Give us a hint.
Okay, Potley, okay. Anything to stop your whining. Egbert once arm wrestled this specimen and pulled one of its arms right off. Oh, thank goodness it grew back.
I have no muscles. How could I win in arm wrestling?
So we have to figure out which specimen Polly is talking about. That's where Egbert will come in handy. Use his analyzer to get information on any of the specimens and to help you determine which is the right one. When you think you know the right specimen, hand the analyzer back to Egbert. You can then move the specimen over to the Shrinkomatic. Once it's there, Egbert can shrink me to the size of a molecule. Then I can dive into the specimen and find what we're looking for.
Sand dollar. This specimen can't be found in the bank. A sand dollar is a flat, spineless creature that lives in the sand in shallow waters. Clam. A clam is a mollusk. That means it has a soft body surrounded by a hard shell. Most clams are small. However, the giant clam can grow to be 4.5 feet wide and weigh over 500 pounds. Oh my! Sand dollar. This clam. A clam is a mollusk. That means it has a soft body surrounded by a hard shell. Most clams are small. However, the giant clam can grow to be 4.5 feet wide and weigh over 500 pounds. Oh my! Slug. A slug looks like a snail that came out of its shell. Because it lacks a shell, a slug is easy pickings by its enemies. Squid. A squid is a 10-armed underwater creature similar to the 8-armed octopus. It's called an invertebrate because it doesn't have a backbone. Jellyfish. Jellyfish have soft bodies with long tentacles. The tentacles of a jellyfish contain sand dollar. Clam. A clam is a mollusk. Protozoan.
Remember Polly's hint? Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off.
Tapeworm. Tapeworms are long, flat worms that live...
Here's Polly's hint. Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off.
Squid. A squid is a 10-armed underwater creature. Octopus. The octopus lives at the bottom of the sea. It uses its 8 tentacles to grab lobsters and crabs towards its horny mouth. The tentacles of an octopus have suckers that make it easier to hold prey. Sea anemone. The simple sea anemone looks just like a flower. If an unsuspecting fish brushes up next to it, a sea anemone paralyzes it with poison. The sea anemone never hunts. It waits for food to come its way.
Remember Polly's hint? Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off.
Starfish. The starfish crawls at the bottom of the seafloor with its 5 arms. If a protozoan, there are 50,000 kinds. Earthworm. Earthworms live underground and eat soil. They range in size from 1 inch to 11 feet. If you cut an earthworm in half, the half with the head doesn't die. it grows another tail that's as good as new. Roundworm. Roundworms are simple worms with long, thin bodies. They live in watery environments, even though they don't know how to swim. Most roundworms have 6 lips.
Remember Polly's hint? Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off.
Earthworm. Earthworm. Jellyfish.
Don't forget Polly's hint. Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off.
Octopus. The octopus lives at the bottom of the sea. Sea anemone. The simple sea anemone looks just like a flower. If an unsuspecting fish brushes up next to it, a sea anemone paralyzes it with poison.
Here's Polly's hint. Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off. You have to bring a specimen over to the Shrink-O-Matic before it can be turned on.
Protozoan. There are sea anemone. The simple sea anemone looks just like a...
Remember... Here's Polly's hint. Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off.
Sea anemone. The simple sea anemone looks just like a flower. If an unsuspecting fish brushes up next to it, a sea anemone paralyzes it with poison. The sea anemone never hunts. It waits for food to come its way. Jellyfish. Jellyfish have soft bodies with long tentacles. The tentacles of a jellyfish contain a powerful poison that stings and paralyzes its prey. Sea slugs absorb jellyfish poison and use it to protect themselves against their enemies. Jellyfish.
Remember Polly's hint. Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off.
Sea anemone. The simple sea anemone...
Do you think that's the right specimen? If so, just click on the microscope on the floor.
Ready, Botley? Hold on tight. It is some ride, I'm told.
Later! If you chose the right specimen, the object Polly hid should be somewhere inside that giant molecular thingamabob up there. You just have to bat me into that stuff until it's revealed. Click on the mouse button to launch me into inner space, then use the mouse to move the magnet. I can't stay small forever, though, so try to get through the molecules before I return to my regular size. I won't last more than 10 rounds in here, so you have to work quick. Click on the mouse to launch me. Whoa! Not there. I guess we'll have to go back to the shrinking machine and try again. Click anywhere. Huh. I was sure we'd find the clue in that one. Let's go back over Polly's hint. Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off. Choose carefully. We can't shrink me down too many times.
Jellyfish. Jellyfish.
I suppose you should shrink me now. Don't forget Polly's hint. Look for the specimen whose...
Happy trails.
Oh my! Back here again, and besides a slight headache, I'm feeling okay. I won't last more than 10 rounds in here, so you have to work quick. Click on the mouse to launch me. Huh, we've broken through that molecule, but there's nothing inside. We'll have to try another specimen. Click to return to the shrinking machine. My poor head. I guess it's pretty clear that wasn't the right specimen. Concentrate on Polly's hint. Look for the specimen whose arm grows back if it falls off.
Starfish. The starfish crawls at the bottom of the seafloor with its 5 arms. If a starfish loses its arm, it can grow a new one.
Do you think that's the right specimen?
Bon voyage, Botley. That's French, you know.
Oh my! Back here again, and besides a slight headache, I'm feeling okay. I won't last more than 10 rounds in here, so you have to work quick. Click on the mouse to launch me. Way to go! You freed the clue that Polly hid. Now put it into your inventory so we can get back to saving life as we know it. Let's move on. There's no mission clue here. Yes! We're at the very top of the mountain. Just knowing what's up here gives me chills. Still, I'd go anywhere and face any danger to save my fellow robots. Careful now, I'm gonna sense around here. Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hid a mission clue in the observatory. We're on Easy Street. There's another clue. In the robot maze. That's where the professor stores the time machine. There's no way to open it, though. This is the most dangerous part of the mountain. That's why Professor Spark uses it as an obstacle course for testing out new robots. With all the treacherous paths and sharp turns, it's the perfect way to test out the latest in robot navigational technology.
You're right, Motley. That little box down there contains the mission clue you so desperately need. I programmed that stupid robot to put that box where you wouldn't be able to reach it. Then I scrambled the commands. See if you can unscramble them.
Okay, as far as I can figure, here's the situation. That robot has been specially designed to maneuver his way down there. He's really good at following directions, and he's got nerves of steel. So what you have to do is rearrange all the robot's commands on that remote control device in front of you so they're in the correct order. The commands tell him which way to move. Just click on the command you want to move, then drag it to where you want it to go. When you press the run button at the bottom of the remote control, the robot will follow your directions to get to that box, if the order is correct. If not, well, better him than me. Oh no, it seems the commands weren't in the right order. Okay, try putting the commands in a different order, then run the program again. Now you can arrange the commands in a different order and run the program again. Oh no, it seems the commands weren't in the right order. Okay, try putting the commands in a different order, then run the program again. Oh, too bad. Poor guy. He's either really brave or really stupid. Now you can arrange the commands in a different order and run the program again. Oh, too bad. Poor guy. He's either really brave or really stupid. Now you... We're back at the maze again. See the box down there? Oops, that didn't work. Don't worry, he's okay. See if you can figure out where you went wrong. Change the program, then try running it again. Now you can arrange the commands in a different order and run the program again. Great work! The robot reached its destination, and we have our object. Who's laughing now, Polly? Just put the clue in the inventory, and let's beat a path out of this place. No doubt about it, there's a clue in the observatory. NASA has nothing over Professor Spark. Just take a look at this place. It's here that the professor conducts all his top-secret astronomical experiments. Way ahead of his time, of course. Hey, did you know that the professor landed a rocket ship on the moon years before Neil Armstrong ever set foot on it? Just kidding.
I guess you could say that you can get a mission clue here, but it's not exactly in this room. In fact, it's not even in this solar system, because I used one of Daddy's rockets to ship it into deep space. Special delivery. You won't find it by just looking around the void. You'll have to figure out exactly where to look.
How do we do that, Polly? Space is a big place.
Well, just because I'm such a nice girl, I'll give you a teeny-weeny hint. There you go. I just sent the hint flying off toward the new black hole Daddy recently discovered. If you really work fast, you might rescue the hint before it gets sucked up into another dimension. Then again, maybe you'll fail. Scary, huh?
Don't worry, we might have a chance. Professor Spark recently launched a whole series of space probes into the black hole. I think we can use it to intercept Polly's radio transmission. Just click on the telescope and we'll get started. Is this cool or what? 1 minute we're in Professor Spark's observatory, and the next we're looking into space 300,000 light years away at a humongous black hole. See that? That was Polly's radio transmission, and the radio wave circling inside the black hole is part of Polly's hint. Unless you blast it out of there, it's going to get sucked into a different dimension. That's one of Professor Spark's space probes. Don't worry, it's strong enough to resist the intense gravitational pull of the black hole, and it packs laser beams powerful enough to knock Polly's radio transmission to safety. You can actually spin the ship by using the arrow keys on your keyboard. To shoot the ship's laser beam, press the spacebar on your keyboard. Whenever you hit a radio transmission packet head-on, you'll knock it 1 light year away from the center of the black hole. When you collect 4 radio packets, you've got Polly's entire hint, ready for unscrambling. Whoa! The ship was hit! More of that and we're doomed! Whoa! The ship was hit! More of that and we're doomed! hint is still hurtling toward the center of that black hole. So there's Polly's transmission and our hint. You better act fast before it's sucked into the black hole. Polly's transmission is 4 radio packets big. Make sure you collect them all or we won't be able to decode her hint. Way to maneuver! Great, you got another radio wave packet. Wow, that asteroid is obliterated. Wow, that asteroid is obliterated. Great, you got another radio wave packet. All right, you got all the radio packets. Now we can decode Polly's hint. This is the professor's alien transmission decoding device. It comes in handy when it comes to decoding transmissions from extraterrestrial beings. The catch is, he hasn't yet found any alien transmissions to decode. Still, we can use it to read Polly's hint. I guess you can call that an alien transmission. Here comes the radio transmission you intercepted from the grip of the black hole. What a drag. Polly's hint is all scrambled. The words aren't in the right order. Polly's not an alien, technically, but we can still use the professor's alien decoder to unscramble her hint. What you need to do is rearrange the words so they create a sentence that makes sense. You know, a subject is usually followed by a verb and all that stuff you learned at school. I couldn't make any sense out of that, but you managed to find a real sentence. Great! I couldn't make any sense out of that, but you managed to find a real sentence. Great! I couldn't make any sense out of that, but you managed to find a real sentence. Great! Great! You decoded the entire hint.
I made the days longer than the nights. I made flowers grow tall and days grow warm. How did I do all these things? I brought spring to ancient people.
Okay, you unscrambled the hint. Quick, to the star chart so we can find that clue. Click on the star chart over there and I'll help you. This is the professor's star chart. It's really like a map that shows the locations of all the billions of stars that we can see from Earth. Of course, there are billions more we can't see. In the old days, people used to navigate by the stars. This map would have come in handy then. Move the pointer over any of the constellations to find out their names. If you want to know more about one of the constellations, just click on it.
Vela is the sails of Jason's ship. The wind of the heavens guides the ship through the starry night sky. Sagittarius represents Chiron, the king of the centaurs. The centaurs were men from the waist up. Eridanus is a mythical river that flows across the night sky. When once the son of Helios, god of the sun, steered his father's chariot too close to the earth, Zeus shot a thunderbolt out of the sky, and the son of Helios fell into the river Eridanus. Tucana is named after the beautiful Aquarius means water bearer in Latin, because people believe Draco is the dragon who guarded the golden apples of Hera, queen of the Greek. Gemini means twin. Leo the lion is Virgo was a Budace is one. Hercules stands in the night sky. Cygnus.
Well, I guess the spaceship's not in that constellation. No problem. Let's try another.
Hercules stands in the night sky. Corona Borealis. Hercules.
Hey, there are a lot of stars out there. Just because the space...
Andromeda was almost killed by a...
Nothing happened.
Ares looks like a powerful ram.
Hey, you're right on target. Here comes the spaceship. We made it! All right, now put the clue into the inventory for safekeeping, then head on out. The world depends on us. I hope you're ready for more adventure, because we're ready to get into the time machine. Just click on the door and back. Wow. Excuse me if I sound sort of odd, but I wasn't sure we'd make it to the time machine mission control. It's impressive, huh? This is Professor Spark's most important work to date, the time machine extraordinaire. The professor created it so he could witness the invention of anything you can think of. Just go back in time and observe. He would never meddle, not like Polly. When he finds out what she's been up to, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in for some serious time out. Now we need to figure out where we have to go in history to complete this mission. That odd-looking machine will help with that task. It's called the Wheel of Invention, and by using Polly's mission clues, we can figure out which inventor we need to find. The professor tried to ensure that not just anybody could use the time machine. You need to know something about history, science, art, a little bit of everything, really. So click on the wheel and let's get going. We finally made it! This is where we bring everything together and figure out how to find the robot that Polly sent back in time. This is the professor's Wheel of Invention. It's an obstacle to the time machine. You see, some of the robots kept wanting to travel back in time to taunt the early computers, but you can't have that. So the professor devised a little quiz that's too difficult for the robots. But hopefully it's not too difficult for you. Oh, brother. Polly's reprogrammed the wheel so it's no longer just a quiz. It's a quiz show! It seems the show's called Hollywood Squares, and you're the first contestant.
This is how you play. Answer 3 questions for each of the clues you collected. You'll find out what, when, where, and who. All the information you need to create a profile of your mission.
Once the game begins, you gotta work fast and try to answer each question on the first try. That way you'll win the time key faster and win the most points. Ready? Set? Okay, let's begin. Just click the on button to start.
Ladies and gentlemen, kids and robots of all ages, it's time to play Hollywood Squares with your telegenic host, me, Monty Monitor. Answer all the questions correctly, and you'll be sent back in time, all expenses paid, to rescue poor Cosmobot. Your first clue is a pork chop. The pork chop will show you what your mission is all about. I love pork chops, and I'm not the only one. Pork chops can be found in cuisines all around the world. Pork chops come from which farm animals? No, beef. That's right. Pork chops come from pigs. So does ham and bacon. It's all pork and it comes from pigs. Pigs are the only animals besides humans whose skin can get what painful condition? No, you're right. Hey, pigs get sunburns just like people. Sunburns are caused by overexposure to the powerful rays of the sun. Our sun is actually a star. It's the center of a group of heavenly bodies known as what? You did it! Yay! Another word for sun is solar. That's why they call it the solar system.
Aha! So it seems that Polly sent Cosmobot back to the time in history when the solar system was discovered. But where was that?
Your second clue is a postage stamp, and it will tell you where in the world your mission will take you. Postage stamps are a way to pay for sending letters and packages. Before postage stamps were invented, the person who received a letter had to pay for it, not the person who sent it. The postage stamp was first invented by an Englishman named Rowland Hill. What country did the English inventor of the postage stamp come from? No, that's right. Oh, jolly good. English people come from England, and England is part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Now, let's see how good you are at geography. Great Britain is located on which continent? Right! Oh, Great Britain is in Europe, the second smallest continent on Earth. What country is located in the very center of the continent of Europe? No, France. Correct. Yes, Poland is a large country in the center of Europe. Polish people make delicious pork sausages and dance to a unique style of music called polka. Poland's also the place where the solar system was first discovered.
Thanks, Monty. We now know that the solar system was discovered in Poland. What we don't know is when it was discovered and by whom.
The third clue is a dollar bill. It will tell you when in history the solar system was discovered. If you had $1 million bills, you'd be a millionaire. The first kid ever to earn $1 million was a famous movie star named Shirley Temple. The dollar gets its name from a coin once used in a European country, known for its mountains, castles, beer, and frankfurters. Which country was that? Wunderbar! In Germany, the coin they called a dollar was made out of a precious metal. Precious metals are metals that are not commonly found on Earth. Which of the following metals is a precious metal? No, that's right! Silver is a valuable precious metal that is often used for making coins. Silver was first used to make the German dollar 500 years ago. Which is the earliest year you could have used a German dollar to buy a frankfurter? That's right! In 1531, the silver coin called the dollar could have bought you plenty of German frankfurters. 1531 also happens to be the year when the solar system was discovered.
We're almost there. All we need to find out is the person in Poland who discovered the solar system in 1531.
This is your fourth and final clue. The sundial will tell you who first discovered the solar system. A sundial tells the time as a shadow moves across a surface marked with the hours of the day. The Egyptians invented the sundial 5,000 years ago, and it was one of the earliest ways of measuring time. A sundial works due to the movement of what heavenly body? No, you are correct. Ha ha! Even though the sun creates the shadow that moves across a sundial, it's really the earth that's moving, not the sun. While the earth spins, it also moves around the sun. What is the Earth's movement around the sun called? No, that's right. Ha ha! The Earth revolves around the sun. It takes 1 year to make 1 revolution. Who discovered that the Earth revolves around the sun? No, right you are. Copernicus was the Polish astronomer who discovered the solar system in 1531. Before his discovery, people thought that everything revolved around the Earth.
Okie dokie, we got all the information we need. Now, on to the time machine. We've got to go to Poland in 1531 before Polly messes up Copernicus's discovery. We certainly don't want the Earth to revolve around Polly any more than it already does. I'd see the inside of this thing. Pretty cool, huh? The professor made it clear this time machine was off limits to anyone but him. But with Polly about to send the world out of control, I think the professor would understand. That looks like our window into the past. Look, all the information you found at the wheel is now neatly in place up there. I guess the time key did that. This lever looks important. Click on me if you think I should pull it. Maybe it'll start things up. Next stop, Poland, to visit the great scientist Copernicus. He's about to discover that the sun is the center of the solar system. There's Copernicus on the brink of making his great discovery. But look, Polly has reprogrammed the Russian robot Cosmobot to paint her picture on the model of the sun. Nyet, Cosmobot, nyet! Thanks to Cosmobot, Copernicus has decided that the Earth revolves around Polly. And we thought she had a swelled head before. Hit the recall button! It's our only chance! Wow, we did it! Cosmobot's back home and the cosmos is back in order. Now back to the future. Whoa, that was some landing! Press the back button on the utility belt to leave the time machine. We need to put this robot to rest. This is where the professor stores all his time-traveling robots. I call it the Robot Roost. Believe you me, these guys have been around the block a few times. The problem is, we have to get them all back from the different places and times that Polly sent them. Right now, though, it's 1 down and 24 to go. You gotta start somewhere. Just let me store this robot for safekeeping. A long rest is sorely needed. Polly sent plenty more back in time, so let's start another mission.
Nice work, Notley. I guess my own innate intelligence has rubbed off on you. Still, this little nightmare's not over yet. Still more robots to find, more challenges to meet. Good luck. You'll need it.
No time to pat ourselves on the back. Select another question so we can save another robot. Click on the inventory to start a mission. Come on, we've come this far, but we can't save a robot unless we're on a mission.